Today, Baba says that whether we study or not, everyone is going to die. And whether we make preparations or not, the new world is still going to be established. And Baba says, the good children, the sensible children, they are making preparations to go to that new world. So you see that Baba has come and Baba is establishing the new world. So whether I prepare myself or not, the future is the new world. But if I prepare myself, I will take the benefit of going to the new world. So, in India we say, you should wash your hands when the Ganges is flowing. So, the Ganges is anyways flowing. If you wash your hands, it's your benefit. If you don't, your loss. So Baba says, such is this time that Baba has come. Baba is teaching us how to prepare ourselves for the new world. Baba is also establishing the new world. And Baba says, those who are sensible, they will make preparations to go to that world. And if somebody doesn't even make preparations, then also the new world will still come, only they won't go. So Baba tells us today that, everybody in the world, they follow some or the other directions. Yes, everybody listens to somebody, or they listen to their own mind, own intellect. But then, if you look at it, whether you listen to your parents or your teachers or your gurus, or you listen to your own intellect, it is all dictated by Ravan. Because whatever you think is your own thought has also come from conditioning. You are conditioned into thinking like that. And who has conditioned you? In this old world, it is all Ravan's conditioning. Yes, and Baba says, whether you are choosing to make choices, decisions, or create thoughts dictated by your own intellect, or dictated by somebody in the world, somebody who is vicious and impure, it's one and the same thing. What will you do by doing things on your own dictates or on somebody's dictates? You will only become more devilish. And just look at our lives. So you see, in this world, there was a time when people listened to others, people listened to gurus and teachers and parents. And then there is this time when everybody says, I want to follow my heart. But then in both the scenarios, mental health or physical health or problems or sorrow is only increasing. Mental illness, in fact, not health, mental illness or physical illness or sorrow or problems are only increasing. So whether you follow somebody else's directions or you follow your own directions, you are only damaging yourself and, bringing loss to yourself gradually. And Yesterday there was this one sister, and she's all of 22 or 23 years of physical age. And she was telling me that I ran away from home at the age of 16 because I did not like my parents controlling me. And then I thought that I will do greater good to myself by not listening to them and doing what I want. But here I am, 6, 7 years later before you, and I don't know which was better. I don't know whether listening to my heart was better or listening to the parents was better, because I've seen both the times and they are equally bad. So I was just telling her that both are equally bad. And then she said, then how do we decide what to do, what not to do? So then I told her, listen to God. Then she said, God doesn't speak. So I said, He does. So she said, okay, so how does He speak? So I said, you first attend certain classes and then you will understand how God comes and gives directions. Because, in the world, we only get directions to prepare ourselves to go to greater hell. We don't receive the directions that prepare us to go to heaven or go to the world of health, wealth, happiness. And Baba says, now I'm giving you those directions. And those children who follow my directions, they are the ones who are preparing themselves to go to that new world of heaven that I am establishing. So there are certain very clear directions that Baba gives today. We will just underline those because, of course, Srimad is a very vast subject, and covering all of Srimad is not possible. Something or the other will slip away. But whatever directions Baba is underlining today, we will revise. So first direction that Baba gives us is be soul conscious. Yes, because we are not soul conscious right now. We are very body conscious. And the soul does everything through the body. So we should, when we are soul conscious, we would see the doer. We would have concern for the doer, the soul, who is doing everything through the body. But we are very concerned about the body or the bodily relations or the work or the attainments. We are not concerned about the soul who is doing everything through the body. It is the soul who runs this body. It is the soul who does actions through this body. It is the soul that operates this body. It is this soul that comes into relationships with other souls. It is the soul that goes to work through the body. It is the soul that attains and acquires through that work. So when we are body conscious, we don't understand that if I want to have greater control over my sense organs, or I want to have a healthy body, or I want to minimize the effect of disease, or I want to have good relationships, or I want to do good work which translates into good karma and it gives me the attainments that I'm seeking, I have to focus on the doer. I have to take care of the soul that's doing everything. So, what we are doing in body consciousness is we are neglecting the doer and focusing and nurturing and, sustaining and bettering everything else. So, you're taking care of the body, the relationships, you're trying to, but of course, you can't take care of it. until you take care of the soul who is doing everything through the body, or who is coming into relationships or doing the work. So, these days people say, I don't have time to meditate because I'm working 18 hours a day. So then we tell them that if you don't take care of yourself right now, if you don't take out the time to meditate, then you will not soon be in a position to work 18 hours a day. Because it is the soul that's working through the body. And how long can it be neglected? So I have to be soul conscious. And you see, there's a very beautiful saying, if you are busy, then you meditate for half an hour a day. And if you're very busy, so busy that you cannot take out half an hour in a day, then meditate for 1 hour a day. Because if you're so busy, that means that your efficiency is very less. Yes, if somebody is very busy, or somebody is they think that they don't have time, or there's too much work, that means that the soul is very weak, because there is never too much work. It's just when you are in low energy, you feel that you're too busy, you feel that there's too much work. So then you need even more power. So Baba says that you have to become soul conscious first. You have to see that when something is going wrong around you, it's a reflection of what's going inside. There's something going wrong inside me, and that's why it's being reflected outside as something that's going wrong outside. Yes, I remember there was this, so there's this lady, and she works for around something to the tune of 14-15 hours a day. And then she said, Didi, I really don't have the time to think any fearful thoughts also. I'm not creating any thoughts of fear, or I'm not worrying. Believe me, I'm mostly working. But I don't know why, there is, all these, I'm attracting all these fearful situations in my life, or I'm attracting all the problems that are causing me to worry in my life. Now, you people say that you attract as you are. Now, I am telling you, I am never thinking these kinds of thoughts. Then why are these situations coming up? So I told her, maybe you are not thinking them in your conscious mind, but maybe because there is a history, there are traumas of the past that are lurking inside, and there is a reason why you are consuming yourself in work. So just ask yourself, why are you working 14-15 hours a day? What are you running away from? So I'm sure, I knew her situation. So I said, I'm sure it's not because you need it. You're running away from something. And that which you're running away from is lurking inside. And until and unless you take care of that, that subconscious mind is working, and it's attracting similar situations. So then she said, then how do I do that? So I said, that's why you need to have remembrance of Baba. Because anything outside is a reflection of what's inside. It may not be conscious. It may be very subconscious. It may be unconscious also. But it is there. And without that, there cannot be a manifestation outside. And people think that the law of manifestation is very loose, You just think about something consciously and it gets manifested. But what about the subconscious and the unconscious? So you are manifesting a lot through that also. And how do you change that? Only when you clear the subconscious and unconscious. And how do you do that? By remembering Baba. Only remembrance of Baba can burn your sins. And this is why Baba says, first thing is you, all the time, you have to keep coming back to the awareness that I am a soul. And when you are in this awareness, then you know that the soul needs the remembrance of Baba. Every problem of the soul, every disease of the soul, every weakness of the soul, every deficiency of the soul is corrected when the soul sits in remembrance of Baba. There is just one method in which the sanskars of the soul will change. When we say subconscious and unconscious, in our language, in Gyan, we say sanskars. So, what are sanskars? They are the ones dominating your subconscious and unconscious. So, those sanskars, they change, they shift, they get corrected, or they get strengthened. The powerful ones emerge and the weak ones, they merge. When you sit in Baba's remembrance is the only method. And we are the fortunate souls who know Baba. Because you see, for Baba's remembrance, the most important requirement is knowledge of Baba. Because in the whole world, people have a certain idea of God which is not God. So people don't know that God is the remover of sorrow and bestower of happiness. They think that He is the remover, He is the bestower of both happiness and sorrow. They don't know He is the Father. They don't know He is the teacher. They don't have access to His teaching. They don't know He comes, He sits, and He loves you so much that He comes for you from the soul world. They don't know that He brings heaven on his palm for you. So Baba says, we are the fortunate souls who know Baba, who know His name, form, address, occupation, relationship, everything. And with that awareness, when we remember Baba, then it is called accurate remembrance. The whole world, they remember Baba, but that is not accurate remembrance, because they remember their idea of Baba, not Baba. But when we remember Baba as He is, that's called accurate remembrance. And accurate remembrance purifies the soul. Accurate remembrance empowers the soul. Accurate remembrance pacifies the soul. Accurate remembrance, corrects the soul. So Baba says that my direction is you be soul conscious and you remember Baba. The first and foremost thing that you have to do for yourself is this. And this is your preparation to go to the world of happiness and peace. Baba says, I'm establishing that world. But very few, children who are good children, who are sensible, they are making preparations. So you see, the news that Baba is establishing a new world has reached every child of Baba. Everybody who is listening to this class knows this. But then, am I making the preparation? What is the preparation? Am I sitting in soul consciousness? Am I, making the effort to be soul conscious? And am I, when I am in soul consciousness, the sign is I will remember Baba. So am I doing that for myself? Yes. And second thing Baba says is, if you keep making so sometimes we don't understand what remembrance is. Remembrance is not something you do 1 hour or 2 hours a day. Remembrance is on the basis of your relationship with Baba. And remembrance is a continuous activity. So when you're soul conscious, you keep remembering Baba. Sometimes consciously, sometimes also subconsciously. So, just like, when you love somebody, when you love a human being, sometimes you remember them consciously, but all the time they are in your heart, on your mind. And that's because of your, of your realization of relationship and attainment from them. So Baba says that remembrance is this. When you realize you are a soul and that all your relationships and attainments are with Baba, then Baba has to be in your heart. That's remembrance. And if your heart is wandering, if your intellect is wandering, that means you have not realized this is my Baba. Yes, there was this one brother some days back, and he was asking me, how many hours do you sit in remembrance? So I said, I sit in remembrance only for 45 minutes in a day because only in Amrit Vela do I have time to sit in remembrance. But I think what you want to ask me is, how much do I remember Baba? So I remember Baba all day. And that doesn't require sitting. Yes, there is a discipline of sitting because we have not remembered Baba for very long. So we have to do it consciously in Amrit Vela also. And it has its own importance, and you cannot deny the importance of sitting in Amrit Vela and remembering Baba. But remembrance is not limited to Amrit Vela. Remembrance is with this deep knowing and realization that I belong to Baba, I am a soul. And I'm going to get my inheritance from Baba. And that is always there. Whether I do something good, whether I make a mistake, whether I am with somebody, without somebody, whether I'm doing seva, whether I'm doing something lokik, I know I am a soul and this is my Baba, and my Baba is the one I have to get my inheritance from. So Baba is always there in the heart and the mind. And that is remembrance. And Baba says there are some people, some children who don't understand remembrance. And then what they do is they try to, they are not in remembrance all day, and their buddhi is like wandering in full speed. It's going to everything, to matter, to things, to desires, to people, to past, to future. You are making your buddhi wander all the time, and your heart is wandering, and then you want to sit in meditation and you want your mind to calm down and remember Baba. That's not happening. So Baba says this is why many children do not have a good chart of remembrance, because they don't understand remembrance. Remembrance is not an activity that you take out time and do. Remembrance is very realization based. Have you ever thought about taking out time and remembering your parents? Yes. Do you sit and remember your parents or spouse or, children? You don't do that. They are in your heart. So that is remembrance. And then sometimes you sit and talk to them, you spend time with them. So with Baba also it is the same. And Baba says, I am a soul and I belong to Baba. So Baba says, when that is there, then when you sit formally also, your heart will be concentrated on Baba. And if your mind is wandering all the time, your intellect is all over the place, then how will you remember Baba when you sit down also? Yes, you in full speed, the car will have an accident. It will not go and take a good halt. So this is something that Baba talks about as a direction. And then Baba says that We children should never lie to Baba. So we should be honest, we should be truthful to the one who is the ocean of truth. And there are many children who, because they don't do what Baba says, so they lie. And lying is amplifying your sins. Lying is, again, you made a mistake and then you lie to Baba, or you don't tell the truth, which is also a form of lie. And then what happens? You are increasing your account of sin. And you see, there is this, in this world, we have become very sinful because of this. Because you see, we are not ashamed of doing the wrong thing. We are ashamed of, acknowledging my wrong act. And then what we do when we make a mistake, when do something wrong, we lie. That's what we have learned in the world. This is a world of hypocrisy. It is said, you can steal, no problem, don't get caught. Yes, so this is a world where we don't learn how to stop ourselves from doing something wrong. We only learn how to not get caught. So Baba says that, but when we come to Baba, we have to understand that when we do something wrong, then we make a mistake, we incur a sin. But then when we lie to Baba, it's an even greater sin. And so we shouldn't lie to Baba. Some children, they submit their false chart also. When they don't remember Baba also, they will submit their chart. And Baba says, if your heart is not with Baba, then even when you're sitting in Baba's remembrance for 45 minutes, just check how much did you actually remember Baba. Because 45 minutes you're sitting in a posture of remembrance, but maybe you are not even remembering Baba for 5 minutes in that whole time. So if you are lying about it, if you're just, if you don't understand also, you lie. So sometimes, you lie out of malice, sometimes you lie out of ignorance also. Yes, but Baba says in both the cases, sin is incurred. We are the children of the knowledgeful Father. We cannot say we don't understand, we don't know how to calculate remembrance. We should. If we don't, we should learn. So Baba says, A, you remember me. B, you don't lie about remembrance. And you must check very deeply how much time did you actually be in remembrance of Baba. Because if you are not in soul consciousness, if your heart is not with Baba, then when you're sitting in remembrance, your heart is wandering and you are not actually remembering Baba for the whole time you're sitting. So Baba says, never lie to Baba about anything. Yes, sometimes, children will just not attend class, and when asked, they'll say, I was ill, I was sick. Yes, so these are not the ways you lie to Baba. Yes, you have only one opportunity to be truthful. Do you understand? In the whole world, there is no opportunity to be truthful, because you cannot be truthful with a human being. If you're truthful with a human being, they'll judge you. Then how do you go to the land where there is truth? How do you emerge that sanskar? Only by being truthful with Baba. And if here also you start being hypocritical and you start lying, then how will you go to that land of truth? So Baba says, don't lie to Baba, don't hide things. Be very transparent about everything with Baba. Say the truth. And when you do that, then you emerge that sanskar of being truthful. And then third thing Baba says is, when you, there's this story of Sudama. So Sudama, he gave, handful of rice to his friend Krishna, and then he received palaces in return. But do you know the interesting thing is, Sudama was always Sri Krishna's friend. Right from childhood, they played together, they stayed together, they had their times together. But Sri Krishna never gave him palaces. Because there is a law of exchange. Until you give something to God, God cannot give you the return. So Baba says that those who want to have the return of having heavenly, heavenly happiness, all the happiness and comforts of heaven you want, then you need to make the preparation to surrender what you have in this old world to Baba. And Baba always uses this word, transferring bag and baggage. So when you surrender in Baba's seva, whatever body, mind, wealth you have right now, then you will get a multiplier of that in the new world in return. And Baba says this is a law in bhakti also. So in bhakti also, people who donate, people who create a dharamshala or a rest house for pilgrims or something of that kind, they get a good house in the next birth. And people who create hospitals, they get health in the next birth. But Baba says, in Bhakti Marg, you give one thing, you donate one thing, and you get one thing. It's not like somebody created dharamshala, so he will get health. No. He will not get health, he will just get a good house. But Baba says here, when you surrender your body, mind, and wealth to Baba's task, then you go to a world where there is no death, there is no illness, there is nothing called sorrow. So Baba says, why wouldn't you make that exchange now? And Baba says, this is the preparation to get everything in exchange in the new world. So this is also what Baba gives as a direction for preparation to go to the new world. And then Baba says, give every soul Baba's introduction. Because when you give every soul Baba's introduction, then you will create your subjects in the new world. And when you create your subjects, you will become the king. So that is also a preparation. If you have not shown the path to happiness to anybody, then how will you go and rule in the world of happiness? Because in order to be a ruler, you need subjects. And when you have not created subjects, how can you go and rule? So this is why Baba says, create subjects, do seva. Now the thing is, you see, the only method to give happiness, peace, love, everything to every soul is introduce them to the source of peace, love, happiness, and purity. And do you know that this is such a big thing that people don't know Baba, people don't know the address of Baba, people don't know the virtues of Baba, people don't recognize the love that Baba has in its heart for every soul. And that's why every soul is not connected to Baba. And the moment they realize that my Baba is here and my Baba is taking care of me, my Baba is giving me inheritance, then every soul has the capacity to become full. And this is such a great seva. Introducing Baba to a soul is the biggest gift, biggest seva that you could do. Yes, and you see, it's very interesting. If you ask anybody in the world, have you experienced help and support from God ever in your life? They will say many times. Yes, everybody has somewhere or the other felt and received help or support or sustenance from Baba in some or the other way, even when they are doing bhakti. But if you ask them, do you have a relationship with that one? They say no. Yes, people have a relationship with those who betrayed them, those who gave them sorrow, those who did harm to them. But they don't have a relationship with that one who they know has supported them, helped them, been there for them. And that's because they don't know him properly, and they don't know themselves because they are body conscious. So it's very easy and normal for them to forge a relationship with human beings, but it's not easy for them to forge a relationship with someone that they can't see. And that relationship is the most pivotal relationship in our life. So, introducing them to the form of Baba, the home of Baba, the attitude of Baba towards us, or the love of Baba that Baba has for the child in his heart, that's such a big seva. And I remember there was this one sister, and I asked her, have you experienced God's love and support ever in your life? She said many times. And then she said, if I told you God doesn't exist, she would say, yes, I would agree to that also. Because I cannot logically understand God. And so I have to be so if you're in gross consciousness, if you are in body consciousness, you are even willing to dismiss the one you have experienced just because that one doesn't have a body, not visible. And Baba says it is your duty to bring everyone to that awareness that you are a soul, you are without a body. And Baba is yours, and he is also without a body. And when they come to experience that, then they can take everything from Baba. So Baba says, this is your duty. This is your preparation for your future. This is your preparation to go to that new world. And Baba says that whether you prepare or not, the world will be established, but the sensible ones will prepare. And we are all sensible ones. So we will pay attention to Baba's directions and prepare ourselves. Okay, Om Shanti.